heartfelt welcome. I'm Esther Buerki, the passionate creator of Living Without Fear, a book that has touched many lives, and the co-creator of the Amazon bestseller Inspired Journeys. If you're here to explore a world of new possibilities and find inspiration, you're absolutely in the right place. If today's episode resonates with you or someone you know, please share it. Let's spread the message of hope together. Don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter, join me on YouTube, and if you find value in this podcast, I'd be so grateful if you could leave a review and sprinkle some stars on your favorite platform. Your support means the world to me, and I'm deeply thankful for each of you. Today's episode is for all of you who had or have a challenging father-daughter relationship. I'd love to share my learnings and thoughts with you from the past week with my father. And it's his 90th birthday today. So happy birthday, my dear dad. You are such an extraordinary man, and your life hasn't been easy at all. You've worked so hard to earn more money than your father, who was a small entrepreneur, so that you don't feel scarcity again. I'm so proud of you. Dear listener, just to give you a short picture of my father, he's been a math teacher at a high school where he later became the principal, but he didn't stay there until his retirement. He became the CEO of a big pension fund organization and decided about investments of millions and millions of Swiss francs. But our relationship has been very challenging since my puberty. He had a very clear idea of my path, which high school, which studies to choose, and later on which house to buy and how many children to have. For example, he was upset with me when I had a second child at 43 because he thought one would be enough for me. And unfortunately, he didn't welcome to the family my second son. With all we had experienced together, my dad and I never expected that we would be close to each other towards the end of his life. But this happened in the last few years. I talked about it in earlier episodes, if you want to listen to it. In the last few weeks, our relationship grew again exponentially because it looked like as if my mother was going to pass away. And my father and I not only talked a lot on the phone to prepare him for the move to the elderly home last week, but we also spent a lot of hours together during the move and the following days. And then it happened again that I got very much triggered by his personality. He was always the one who knew right, everything. Being right was the most important game we played in our family system. My dad, my mom, my brother, and I. So those past days, when I felt tired from the whole situation, I started reacting to my father because I couldn't always handle my emotions. It started with simple things like packing his clothes. And he said to me, "I know what I'm doing, and I know better than you." Sometimes I felt a lot of anger. Sometimes there was sadness, and many times the feeling of not being seen, heard, and understood. came up within me. I had wished I would not have to deal again with anger towards my father, but it happened, and I can forgive myself because at the same time, I'm so grateful for my long and challenging journey with him that finally ended with feeling at peace with him. To master our emotions is a lifelong process, I guess, or I know. And if you are in a similar situation with a family member or a friend, you can only restart every day and every hour. Imagine you can always erase the negative past moments and start opening a new page in your life book. And what is beautiful in this journey, you can paint your future in a very positive manner. For example, whenever I ended a difficult phone call with my father, which left me with sad feelings, I always imagined the next day and the next call, and I saw it as a positive conversation with positive emotions and with a positive ending. Or another example. Yesterday, my visit at the elderly home has been very difficult because my father was again in a challenging state. Nothing was positive for him. He only saw the negative and complained about all what wasn't working for him. He also started blaming me for not understanding him. This sucks, but I forgive him because I know how difficult this time in his life is, and I have a lot of compassion for it. When I drove home in the evening yesterday, I imagined my next visit or phone call with my father filled with positivity. And I also imagined myself being very calm and mastering my emotions in a beautiful way. Because what my dad is processing at the moment hasn't anything to do with me. It's his life. And I'm trying to help him as much as possible, but I cannot change his mindset. If he sees that his glass is now half empty and not half full, because in fact, he is so lucky to be at this elderly home. The waiting list is very long, and some time ago, he told me that it is very difficult to get a room in this elderly home, and he knows people who are already waiting for years to get a place. So, let me summarize the steps I want to share with you today about nurturing the father-daughter relationship. Steps that you can also apply to other challenging relationships. First, resist the urge to react when your father blames or criticizes you. Remind yourself that this is not a reflection of your worth, but rather a projection of his own struggles. Second, extend forgiveness to yourself for any emotional reactions you've had in the past. Your inner child, carrying the old wounds, needs your compassion and unconditional love. Be gentle with yourself. Third step, take control of the narrative in your mind. Replace any lingering negative images of your last interactions with a vision of harmony. Picture yourself and your father in a loving, understanding relationship. Feel that warmth and connection as though it's already true. And let me leave you with this gentle reminder. This journey is not a one-time fix. Healing relationships, especially deep and complex ones, is an ongoing process. You may stumble or face setbacks, and that's okay. What matters is the small, consistent steps, the millimeter shifts that you take over time. A year from now, or perhaps two, you'll notice profound changes, not just in your relationship, but in yourself. Keep going. Progress is often slow, but it is always worth it. If this episode inspired you, I'd love to hear from you. You can share your thoughts on Instagram or YouTube, or book a call with me if you like coaching on these topics. Use the coupon code TRANSFORM-NOW for a free discovery call. Thank you, dear listener, for spending your precious time with me. You're amazing, and you're a gift to everyone who crosses your path. If no one has told you this today, let me say it again. You are loved. You matter. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you next week.